I'm ready to get to work, Teresa. How about you? You ready to do some filming?
I'm ready to get to work. We got some nice parts here today.
We sure do. We got a lot of nice parts. We got Annie over there on her bed hanging out. There you go.
There she is.
Well, we got Richard's 03 59 in here, Dodge Diesel, 4-wheel drive. I don't believe there's really anything wrong with the tranny. I think he's just bringing it in to get it all freshened up because he ain't getting rid of this truck. So we're going to go through here, put a billet converter in it. We're going to replace the flywheel with a billet flywheel. We're going to be upgrading the input shaft to a Sonex input shaft. We're going to be putting a Transgo kit in this. We're going to be putting a Sonex pressure boost valve in here for a loop circuit. We're going to be putting a new Sonex manual valve in it. All the bells and whistles we can put in this thing for this gentleman. Now, if you come over here, I'm going to go through all the connectors first. You can see here your neutral safety switch is full of fluid. The connector is.
Yep.
If you come over here and look at the top of your main connector, we have fluid in it too.
Mm-hmm.
So we know right here the wiring harness and solenoid kit on the inside's got to be replaced. We know our neutral safety switch has got to be replaced right off the bat. Now this does have a stock torque converter in it. It's got the factory lugs on it. The one we're going to be putting, it's going to be a triple disc. It'll have a solid backing on it with no studs sticking out. The physical bolts will bolt to the backing plate. So. Now this is a 47. We don't have a pump ring on this ring here on the stator for drain back. So the converter we got in here should be a stepped converter. You put your finger down in here, there's a little step right here where it doesn't take the ring. Now if you have a ring here, the converter cannot have a step down inside the hub here. It has to be the same size all the way to the bottom. That way the ring don't pop off and get eat up by the pump. So now we're going to come over and take our output speed sensor off. These usually get a lot of metal stuck to the ends of them and stuff. You really want to clean this off. Look at this really good. Make sure there ain't no fluid getting to the inside in here and turning it red on the inside. Make sure there ain't no fluid coming out of the connector because we do see fluid getting inside these switches all the time. So.
Yeah, you pulled one down that had some in there.
Yep, we sure did here the other day on one of my other videos. I showed you how one was pink on the inside of that connector. Try to have all my tools over here to get these apart. Now this is park there. You can turn this shaft to lock. A lot of times these are really hard to get out of park. Now we have a kit that we're going to be putting here to make this lever move so much easier. So you can just barely get it out of park. So we'll be showing that here in the video, how to repair that with a Transgo kit they sell. This off there. There we go. Let's go ahead and take the overdrive section off first. That looks like a scratch or a crack. Might look at that really close. This thing got a smell, Teresa? Sure does, doesn't it?
Yeah. I don't know if he was having issues.
As dark as that fluid was, you'd think he would be having issues, but
Get that off.
yeah. Got a lot of stuff going on in there. We got a lot of washer wear and stuff. Now here's this little wire ring, is what I call it. Hold your overdrive clutches in. If you notice, this bushing just fell out right here. It's a bushing that goes on this little shaft right here that sets down in the overdrive section, down in there.
Yeah.
And you can see your overdrive clutches. Now a lot of people mess up here, guys. I've seen this come in our shop multiple times. When you put this back in, everybody wants to put the thick plate, or excuse me, they want to put this, the thin plate in here first, and then put the backing plate up against the piston like that. Well, if you do that, and you put this thin plate on the bottom down here, it just bows it all around them snap rings. There's no support there. It just bends it, smashes it all up inside there. They want the thick one to go against them snap rings. Like that. That way this cannot bend, and then your ply can be the thin one that goes against your plate here like that. See? So, pretty simple. Now we're going to have two snap rings down in here. We're going to have a wavy one, and then we're going to have a flat one. And then here's our flat one. Flat one first, wavy second. And don't put them like that. Move them around. And also put your tabs not in a gap. Put your your end under here. Don't put it in the end like this where these can break off. You have your overdrive piston. Got some really short O-rings here. This one here also is a real short O-ring. Your overhaul kit's going to come with two O-rings that look just like each other. This one here. The tall lip goes in your forward drum. The short lip goes in your overdrive piston. Don't get them mixed up. Now we have a torque bit socket that takes these out. Your gasket. I usually throw the gasket away and I silicone this on there. That way it just never leaks. And then here we have our snap ring right here that holds us all the support in. And your overdrive planet, all that stuff in here. Now we're going to get in here and look at this housing too and make sure it's not wore out, because if this is wore out, I can't set my clearances up the way I want to set them up. So we're going to get in here and look here. You see very little wear. Looks really nice. You see that little bit there? I can actually live with that. I can take all that up in my clearances. Not too bad at all. Now if you get it back where it's cut 1/8 of an inch out of that thing, this housing's no good. You can't make up that type of gap. So, now here's your direct clutch, your overdrive planetary assembly's all in here, your 800-pound spring. I will take that out and show y'all here in just a second. Let me move this stuff around real quick, Teresa. Okay, let me get back on this side. Now we're going to take our 3/8 bolts back here that hold the support to the case. Now here's our selective spacer right here. Right here, see how you got a blue? They make a red, they make a yellow, they make a silver. They make different thicknesses here, and that's how you set your end clearances up and stuff. You got your intermediate band adjustment jam nut here, and you got the stud here. I need to use my squeegee. This thing's been really good to us. You know, the pan really doesn't look like it's been serviced like recently or anything like that. So the old pan actually looks pretty good. Let me get our filter. Like I say, we're going to be going to a different style filter that we like a lot better. Which you can see it over there on the table, the yellow one right there. They just flow a lot better, move a lot more volume of fluid. Now you have two guide bolts actually, this one here and this one here. You can see the difference in the lengths though. The four long ones will go here around your sensors here, and then your longer ones will go here, and then your short ones. So, and we have our governor pressure sensor here and our solenoid here. Now the early and late on this stays the same. The early and late on this is different. Now, we will be coming in here and replacing the rooster cone piece here for your neutral safety switch that turns your lights and stuff on, like in your dash. I'm always throwing the tools over here, and then I go blind. I can't see them where to go. There it is. Let me go find something really quick. Be right back. Won't take a second. How about 2 seconds? Get this stuff apart here real quick, kind of show you guys what we do. Now, I was talking about how it's hard to get out of park. Right here, there's this ball and spring inside here, and then we're going to come in here. Transgo makes a really nice kit that gives you a spring and a little torpedo missile looking thing that sets in here. That way it uses the whole bore to keep this moving in that straight. So you take that clip off, you're going to pop this up like that. The ball is going to jump out. You're going to move this washer. You're going to pull this lever out, and then here's your ball and spring. Now what we're going to do, we're going to come in here, clean the valve body up, and we're going to put that piece right in there just like that. Now it uses the whole bore. Now also what we like to do, this angle on this piece right here is too steep, up and down. We will take and lay this over just a little bit. We'll take and cut this off just a little bit and give it a smoother ramp to get out of park. So that's a must. And then this piece here keeps it from rocking back and forth, making your shifter loose and all that type of stuff. So really good upgrade. The Transgo kit does come with a new manual valve, but we're going to be putting a new Sonex manual valve in it with their pressure regulator lube valve. So that's a good kit for these. I mean, just lubrication in park, neutral, stuff like that. Coffee was good this morning, that's for sure.
Yep.
Now your Transgo kit will come with a new bracket here. It's a gold bracket that breaks all the time. It'll also come with a repair plate that you can put under this plate here. If somebody took and drilled this hole out massive, you can put the plate under there. It'll shrink it back down to the original size that they want you to be using. So real simple. This is a lock, basically. It locks the connector in. You'll pull it back with your screwdriver, push this lever here and unplug it. This one here has a little tail lock. You can just kind of pick up on that and unplug it. Now your Transgo kit will come with a metal plate that goes on here. The gasket goes on first, I believe, and then the plate goes on second. It goes on there like that. Your Transgo kit will also come with a new 4th gear accumulator springs that goes down in here. There's 3 of them. They'll be interlocked together that you'll be replacing this single with. Now you'll be taking this off here, drilling a hole, plugging it. A few more other things you'll be doing inside there. Your instructions are really good on your Transgo kit, so not too hard to do. Just take your time. Now all the bolts here are the same length except this one here and this one here. Now this one here, some of the valve bodies will come with a long one there. You can put it in there. So, but most of them will come with a short one there, a longer one here, and then your 2 for your filter. So pretty simple. Pull this off here and get our wiring harness and our overdrive and our lockup switch off. Now the screws are long. They do have some short ones in here too that you can get mixed up if you ain't careful. So, but this is your overdrive and your lockup wiring harness and solenoid package. You have to replace it because your connector's leaking anyway. So pretty simple. When you clean this all up really good, guys, there's 3 holes right here. Little tiny needle holes. You want to make sure them are clean. If you got any debris laying there plugging one of them holes, you're going to be in trouble. Got your plate here. You have a little tiny check ball here. Your Transgo kit does come with that ball, but they use it for something else in the valve body. But if you have a spare kit laying around, if you drop that ball is the same in the valve body or in their shift kit. So if you find one, so same way with this plate here. It's going to come with your Transgo kit. You're going to be modifying your 3rd gear shift feed holes. you notice you have a big hole here, your ball's here, you have a little hole here. So you can feed it here and they restrict it here. So in your plate, your nuke plate, you're going to have to be drilling both of them. So if I want third gear to shift firmer, I'm going to be drilling here because it's not restricted here, it's physically restricted here. Now here's your second gear feed. You're going to be drilling that a little bit. Your Transgo kit don't say to, but I like to drill them just a little bit bigger. Firm up second gear just a little bit. Now being that this is a 47, this plate doesn't have a hole right here. The shift kit will ask you if your plate has a little tiny hole right here. If it does or doesn't, it's going to ask you that. Also here, you're going to see where in your check ball for your reverse, it beats a hole in the plate. That's why they give you a new plate for this is the main reason right here. So now it'll come with a metal check ball. You can leave the forward metal, but we always go back with the reverse one, with a plastic one or whatever you want to call that metal. I get it mixed up. And your shift kit's going to come with a little stubby to put in here. So if you take this check ball and put it here, you don't even have to find you one. You already got you one because your shift kit's going to come with a piece that goes here. Go ahead and put all your check balls in here. Now, this is going to be a short screw right here, a little stubby. Don't put it anywhere but there. And also right here, this is going to be a long one. Don't put the stubby there and put your long one over here. The long one is what keeps all the pressure, keeps this boost valve spring, your lockup spring, and all that stuff in there. And we have our 4-land lockup valve. You want to go modify it like I showed you earlier in other videos. You can see how I modify those. Always use the same spring back. Now, our shift kit, it's going to have you screw this right here back out where it sets flush. See how that's this plate sticking away from it? You're going to screw that in to where that plate's setting flush right here. That's what Transgo wants you to do. Now our Sonex valve that we're putting in here, it's a full-time lube valve. It'll lube in park and neutral and stuff. It's got a check valve in the end of it. It's got a hole here and a hole here. Really nice system when you use it with their manual valves. I got them both over there. Let me go open one real quick, kind of give you an idea. We're putting these in every one we do. I talked to Randy over there at Sonex, and man, he's just the man to talk to when it comes to this stuff. So. Now when you put this in here, right when you start it up, it's going to start pumping fluid in park. Keep the converter full, all that type of stuff. But if you see here, they have a hole here, here, and they have a check ball and spring in here. See, well, this one here is just a solid valve. So then you have your new manual valve. So both of these are new upgrades that's going in the valve body on every one we do. Really nice. Your shift kit will come with a new TV spring. It'll be a green one. If you want later shifts or something like that, you can put that in there. Your shift kit also is going to have you do some work here to your, what the heck, I lost words for it, what they call that in there. But it's got to do with your TV. It'll have you put a yellow, green, depending on 24 valve, 12 valve, whatever motor you have in your vehicle. So.
Is it Monday morning?
It's a Monday morning, Teresa. You had me working a lot this weekend at home.
I think that was the other way around.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, I still feel the pain. And we have our intermediate accumulator here in spring. Your shift kit will come with a new spring here. And then we have our band anchors. And then let's see. This is your threaded piece on the outside of the case. Goes in there. Must be warm outside because it's warm in here.
It's humid.
Yeah. We had a guy rebuild his transmission and they got it going and everything. He's got a front leak and he couldn't figure out where it's leaking at. And needless to say, it was leaking out of one of the pump bolts because he didn't reseal it. I silicone double seal your pump bolts. 'Cause that right there got him where he had to pull it back out. My tools are scattered everywhere. We have our pump stator here. Your new bushing kit will come with a bushing for here. Kind of hard to get that out. We take a cutter and cut it out, and then come in here with another little cutter and pick up on it and pull it out. It's really hard because you don't want to damage. You hit this area right here with your cutter, the stator's destroyed. So you got to be really careful getting that bushing out. You know, look at your pump gears on both sides. Looks really nice. Mainly, you're going to see them wear by the anchor. The anchor's the pump gear to the converter. Usually wear it right through here. So, now if you notice, a lot of people say, which way does this gear go in, guys? And I've never showed anybody this. Which way would you put that? If you see this chamfered area right here, that's going to make it easy for that to slide on that converter, won't it? That chamfered area right there. Actually, if you flip it over, it don't have a chamfered area. It's got an area that will hold fluid. That's how that goes. So basically, you put that area right there in the converter like that. That way we have a consumption of oil right through here. So when you stick it in there, that part goes down, not the chamfer. So pretty simple. Now here we have our third gear clutches, or high reverse clutch, you can call it. We have our wavy snap ring. Now since this doesn't have a TV motor, it's actually got a cable. We're going to be doing a lot of really neat stuff to this. Now we've only got 4 clutches in here. We can actually get one more in there. You can see this one's starting to get a little bit of heat on it. And we can take this wavy snap ring out of here and put a 350K snap ring or a 4L60E K snap ring, fit right in there. Get rid of that old wave. And look for any wear here. Your sealing rings run. Your new bushing. When you put it in, you want to always set it on here like this, because you can run that bushing in too far. And when you do, it'll actually rub here. It'll rub right up on this land right here if you put it in too far. So what I like to do, set this on there like that. Look where my bushing's setting here. See that? This bushing can actually go in the drum farther. Okay. So open up this channel here too a little bit more. So, of course, here we have our cheap Mopar band. Get rid of that for sure. We have our forward clutches. Now this is an early design. It's got the big teeth instead of the real fine teeth in your forward clutch. And then we have our forward bevel, your plastic. They do make these metal when you can find them. Usually in the real early models, you can find them and swap them over. Now you remember me talking about the Overdrive sealing ring? I talked about this ring right here, guys. These rings are in your overhaul kit and they look identical. You can get them swapped out really easy. This one here has a long lip. This one has a short lip. Short lip goes in your overdrive piston. The long lip goes in your forward piston. It's easy to get that mixed up. That's still not in a perfect bed. You just want to make sure you get the right one in there. Make sure your check valve's free when you build it back. Now this is going to be getting all billet input shaft, not intermediate or anything like that. But this here will be totally replaced with a Sonex one. And we have our selective 3-tab washer, we call it. Now this has a rear aluminum planted in the back. Got our intermediate shaft, still has the end of it. Looks good. Come in here and look at our rear planet, see what it looks like. Got a little bit of wear. We can actually go back with a 5-pinion here. So, and leave it aluminum if you wanted to. Look at your ring gear on both sides of your teeth. Make sure it looks good. Come here and look at your washer here. Look at the load that's been on that washer, guys. You can see how hard it's pushing on the planet even. You can see here. Look at the load on that washer. You can't put a bigger washer there, that's all you get. And you got your sun gear, you want to look at it on both sides too. Make sure there ain't no pitting. Have to look at that close. And you have your 6-tab washer here. This washer pretty much just floats around. There really ain't no load on it or anything like that. You very seldom ever see them replaced. And then you're going to get in here and find another load washer. You can see the wear on it, and then you'll see the impressions on the back too, where it's trying to push it in really hard. Now this is your forward clutch ring gear. You can see the teeth are wide instead of a narrow. Like I say, if you have a narrow, it'll take a different clutch here. Then you have a 5-pinion planet. Look at your gears really close on both sides. Make sure there ain't any wobbling, your pins ain't purple. Then we have our reverse drum, our band goes around. You want to look in here for any wear, any chatter marks where your sprag runs. Got this great big old wide band. Starting to get some wear though. These things they're not cheap, but if they got any wear, get rid of them. Then we have our lower sprag assembly. Excuse me, lower roller clutch. They do the same thing. A sprag and a roller clutch do the same thing. They spin one way and lock the other. It's just, this is a roller clutch. The sprag, that looks a little bit different, but they do the same thing. So. Then we're going to get our rear case support off out in the back. Look for any wear around here. You're going to see a ton of wear usually. We always drill this feed hole a little bit bigger. Put a lot more oil here. And then we have our reverse band servo. Now if you have a single wrap band, this back here, servo will be a lot bigger. This is just a little bitty thing. my screwdriver. It's in an odd spot for me to get it out. There we go. You can see here, the earlier design, the single band, it's almost twice as big as that piston. So, and they will not interchange in the case. So, get your intermediate one out real quick. Keep it from getting splattered. Now your shift kit could come with another spring to put in here. I hate them when they jam up like that. You gotta be careful getting them out too, because you can make it even worse than it is. There we go. So the shift kit will come with a Teflon one, or not the shift kit, but your overhaul kit will come with a Teflon ring here and a Teflon ring here. It won't be a metal one no more. But the hat will have a metal one in it still. So, not too bad. Got a lot of updates to do to this thing though. That's going to make this tranny really nice for this gentleman. So, we really appreciate you, Richard, for bringing it to us. Definitely, we're going to do you a really nice job. We got a transfer case of his we're going to be going through too to make sure it's 100% where he don't have any issues at all. We got a lot of work coming, guys. Stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe. Y'all have a wonderful day.